Imagine a world where childbirth was the biggest danger. Bigger than war, bigger than hunting, bigger than disease. For most of history, there were no hospitals, no surgeons, no antibiotics, no emergency C-sections. Yet billions of humans were born long before modern medicine existed. That raises a strange question. If childbirth was so dangerous, why didn't humanity go extinct? Behind every family tree was a survival system. Ancient, effective, and surprisingly intelligent. Today we're uncovering one of humanity's greatest survival stories. How did ancient humans survive childbirth? Childbirth was never completely safe. In many ancient societies, pregnancy carried serious risks. Not because every birth was deadly, most were not. The problem was repetition. Women often experienced many pregnancies, 5, 8, sometimes more. The danger kept accumulating, birth after birth, pregnancy after pregnancy. So the real mystery isn't why some women died. The mystery is why so many survived. The first answer is simple. Childbirth was rarely a solo event. Across the world, cultures relied on experienced birth attendants, women who had seen many births before, women who knew what to expect. Ancient Egyptian texts reveal this knowledge. Some are over 4,000 years old. They describe labor positions, birth practices, and herbal remedies. Long before doctors existed, childbirth already had specialists. Their knowledge wasn't written in textbooks. It was passed down, mother to daughter, midwife to apprentice. Generation after generation, successes were remembered. Mistakes were remembered too, and some of that knowledge still survives today. One ancient discovery was surprisingly simple: gravity. Many traditional cultures preferred upright births. Women squatted, knelt, or used birthing stools. Why? Because gravity helps. It can assist the baby's descent and help open the pelvis. For much of the modern era, many hospital births happened lying down. Today, alternative positions are making a comeback. In some cases, ancient practices had real advantages. Then came plant medicine. Midwives spent centuries experimenting with nature. They searched for ways to reduce pain, control bleeding, and support labor. Some used raspberry leaf preparations. These are still discussed today. Others used something far more dangerous, a fungus called ergot. Ergot grows on rye. In tiny amounts, it can trigger contractions. In larger amounts, it becomes poisonous. Too much could be deadly. The strange part? Chemicals from ergot later influenced modern medicine. Even more surprising, they also played a role in the scientific history that eventually led to LSD. Ancient midwives knew none of this. They didn't know what molecules were, yet they were working with powerful natural chemicals, sometimes successfully, sometimes with tragic consequences. But ancient medicine had limits. Some problems couldn't be solved. A baby could become stuck, severe bleeding could begin, an infection could spread. Today, these emergencies are often treatable. For most of history, they were not. When complications started, families could only hope. Midwives used every remedy they knew. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Archaeologists have discovered heartbreaking evidence. Some ancient graves contain women buried with unborn babies still inside them, a silent record of childbirth complications. Thousands of years old, a reminder of how dangerous birth could be. And yet humanity survived. Generation after generation, knowledge kept growing. A slightly better technique, a safer remedy, a more experienced midwife. Small improvements added up. Over centuries, then millennia, mothers taught daughters. Midwives trained apprentices. Communities remembered what worked, and slowly survival rates improved. Not through a single discovery, but through countless lessons paid for with experience, sometimes with sacrifice. Each generation inherited a little more knowledge than the last, a little more understanding, a little better chance of survival. Eventually, those lessons helped countless mothers survive, and much later, they paved the way for modern medicine: hospitals, surgery, antibiotics, emergency care. The medical systems we rely on today were built on thousands of years of accumulated knowledge, which means every person alive right now is connected to an extraordinary chain of survivors. Because despite all the dangers, despite all the losses, humanity kept finding a way forward, one birth at a time. Here's the remarkable part. Many modern childbirth practices aren't entirely new. Some are ancient ideas returning in new forms: birth support specialists, alternative labor positions, continuous care during delivery. Even some medicines trace their roots to traditional remedies. Ancient humans didn't understand bacteria. They didn't have microscopes, they couldn't see inside the body. But they observed, they adapted, they learned, and they shared that knowledge, generation after generation. That's not primitive thinking. It's human ingenuity, in one of its earliest forms. Every person watching this exists for the same reason. Somewhere in your family history, someone survived childbirth. Then their child survived, and their child's child survived, again and again. For thousands of generations, you are the result of every birth that worked, and that may be one of the greatest survival stories in human history.